Today I'm going to talk to you about my piercings, what I've had pierced and what it was like and all that kind of stuff. I've been away for a while and it's been really irritating me because I haven't been able to make any videos, and it's because my first SD card snapped in my camera, then I replaced it, but apparently I didn't buy the right one because it wouldn't record more than like a minute, which is not very helpful when you're trying to make YouTube videos. So I had to order a new one and I had to wait for that to come from like Hong Kong or somewhere. I've also had my hair cut off, it's quite short now. Let me know what you think in the description below. So, piercings. What I'm going to do this video is I'm going to talk about all the piercings I've had in order I had them. But in the description box below I'll put the times for each one. So if you're only interested in, say, my nose piercing, you can click to that point in the video and watch that. You don't have to watch all of it if you don't want. So I've got 7 piercings in total if you count each hole. But I think, I don't know, the lobes sort of count as one in a way. I don't know. So I've got 2 in each lobe, and I've also got my cartilage pierced, I've got my nose pierced, and I used to have my lip pierced, so I'm going to talk about that as well. So the first one is the lobes, and I had them done when I was like 8, and I had them done for my birthday as a present for my friend, and they had all had their ears pierced, and pretty much everyone had their ears pierced by the age of 8, and I was like, oh, I really want mine done, so I got them for my birthday. I had them done at hairdressers. I can't even remember the place now, it's so long ago. But I had them done at the hairdressers, and they did it with a gun, which I wouldn't recommend. Guns are never good when you're doing piercings. It didn't really hurt much at all. I don't remember it hurting much. I just remember my ears were really hot. I remember getting into the car and it felt like my ears were burning off. I'm pretty sure most of you have had your lobes pierced. If not, you could probably ask any of your friends because pretty much everyone has their lobes pierced. There are second holes in my lobes I must have had when I was about 10 or 12. I don't know. Maybe younger, probably about 10. And I had them done at Claire's Accessories, and not a good experience. I wouldn't do it. They use a gun, which is never good, again. Also, they're not trained piercists, so they're not gonna know a lot about piercings. It was also really hot in the shopping centre, so I had them done and I went really lightheaded because I'm scared of needles. I don't like needles coming near me, which is a bit silly because I've got facial piercings and stuff. The healing was fine, it didn't hurt much at all. I remember I had to twist them and clean them, but other than that there's not a lot to say about lobe piercing. They're very, very common, so I think pretty much everyone knows about them. So the second piercing I had done was my lip, and I'll insert a picture now of what I looked like with my lip pierced. So I had my lip pierced when I was 14. My mum didn't really want me to, but I was so insistent. I was like, I really, 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 really want it done. Please, please, please. So she let me have it done. I had it done at a proper piercing studio by a piercist who was also the person that did my nose piercing, and he was really nice, kept me really calm. So he marked it up, pierced through from this way, put the jewellery in. I was fine, and then I went really lightheaded and I was like, I'm gonna be sick. He was like, there's a sink over there. So off I went, and I was sick in the piercing studio. But I really didn't like needles. I was quite squeamish and scared of them. And it was also a piercing going through my face, so that was kind of scary. But it was okay. It didn't hurt much at all. I barely felt it. I'd probably give it about a 2.5 out of 10 for pain, 10 being the top. For healing, I used saltwater solution, which is pretty much the most common thing used for cleaning piercings. It swelled up loads, like it swelled up like quite a lot, but that's to be expected. I'd say the healing hurt more than the actual piercing itself because obviously you're eating and you're talking, so you're going to be moving your mouth a lot. Also, when I had it pierced, I spent a lot of time fiddling with it, so I'd constantly be like chewing it and sticking it out, sucking it back in, messing around with it, and it kind of ruined the point in having a piercing because it's not just sitting there looking nice or whatever you want it to look like, it's just sort of being messed around with. I took it out the November before last because we were doing a show at school, and obviously you don't wear piercings when you're acting, so I took it out for that, and then I just decided I'm not going to put it back in, and I never did. I kind of regret doing it, but I don't, because I don't really like to regret things. I just think take it as a lesson. If you really want a piercing, then get it. At the end of the day, it's just going to leave a little mark, and a lot of people don't really notice it. Some people think it's a mole, which it isn't. It is a piercing scar. I can still feel the hole. I don't think I could put anything through it, but it is obviously there. So that is something to be aware of, especially if it's a facial piercing. So the next thing I had pierced was my nose, and I had this done at the same place I had my lip pierced by the same person. He was really nice again. This time it wasn't so traumatic because he did it really quickly. He did it on 2 rather than 3. He went 1, 2 instead of going 1, 2, 3 and then shoving it through. The thing is with piercings, they're so fast, it's so hard to think how much pain it was. I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 10. So I had a 1.6 stud put into it, and the piercer said, come back in 3 days and I'll change it for you. So I went back in 3 days and he changed it. And he changed it to something about this small. And that was way too small. To go from a 1.6 to something this small is ridiculous. And I can't remember what they're called, but those little spots you get on piercings, I had one of them. Obviously because the size of the gauge had changed dramatically. So obviously dirt would get in a lot more, makeup would get in. It fell out quite a few times, like when I was washing my face and in the shower, and I was getting a bit fed up of it. So I got another nose stud. It was one of the ones that sort of do that. It's got like a little hook at the end, and it was just a little blue stud, and it was thicker than the one he had put in. So changing the jewellery and cleaning it and keeping it clean really did help, and that spot thing is gone now and it's completely healthy and it's absolutely fine. Then I changed it to a ring. I have to change the rings quite regularly because I take them in and out a lot because of drama, and they change shape, they get bent, and as you can see this one's not actually a circle, it's sort of made a weird square shape, so I need to replace this one. Healing, I'd say, doesn't hurt that much. It would hurt if you flared your nostrils. Like, I don't know how to flare my nostrils on purpose, but if I ever flared my nostrils through speaking or anything like that, it did throb a bit, but it wasn't bad pain. I could go for it again. It was okay. So the last piercing I have is my cartilage up here, and I had this pierced quite recently, probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago. This is quite a spontaneous piercing. Me and my friend were out in Bath and I was like, oh, I fancy getting my cartilage pierced. She was like, oh, go on, I'll get another one in my nose. So she's got 2 sort of next to each other, which is really cool. I haven't really seen many people, well, I haven't seen anyone with that apart from her. I'll leave in the description box below where I had it pierced and the name of the piercer. If you live in the Bath area, I would recommend their shop because the guy is really, really nice and he did a really good job as well. I'd say this is probably a tie between my most painful piercing between my nose and my ear. It hurt quite a lot, but it was over in literally a millisecond. Straight after he did it, I was like, oh, I was being a massive baby, that didn't hurt at all. I think the worst thing about my cartilage piercing was the healing. So when I had my ear pierced, it was fine for that day and the day after, and then it started to swell up. Literally my ear swelled up probably about centimetre around bigger than my actual ear. So if I held my hair back, it was like, one was like this, the other was like this. It wasn't good. It was really red, it was really sore. It made me feel sick. Like I was at school feeling sick because of my piercing. It wasn't infected at all. Like there was no pus, nothing. It was like I would clean it as normal. It was the same as any other piercing I'd had, apart from it swelled up loads. And I think this is due to it just being cartilage and just the way my body reacted to it, and it was obviously irritated. I think another thing that didn't help is sleeping on it. I tried my best not to sleep on it, but obviously if you're asleep when you roll over, you're not going to realise. Another thing is that your hair is by it, so any hair products you use like shampoo, conditioner, hairspray are going to get near your piercing. I cleaned it with salt solution, and to start with I used table salt. And my mum was like, no, that's fine. I was like, are you sure? So I googled it, and apparently it's not. It's okay, but it's not really what you're supposed to use. You're supposed to use sea salt. So she got me some sea salt and I started using that, and it went down quite a lot and it was a lot better. I'd say it was swelled for about a week. I've had about 2 days that were really excruciatingly painful, like headaches, feeling sick, just throbbing all the time, and it really, really hurt. But I stuck it out for that week and it was fine afterwards, and it's gone down now. I don't have like a lump behind it like some people do. I clean it every day and it's doing well. If you have any questions, please comment below and I'll answer them as much as I can. I do try and reply to everyone that comments on my videos. If I don't, it's usually because I haven't seen it or it hasn't come through the inbox or something, but I pretty much reply to every comment I see. If I see it, I'll reply. I also stretched my ears for a while. They were up to about a 5 or a 6. I think it was a 6. So if you have any questions about that, ask below and I'll answer them too. I hope this video has been helpful and that I've covered pretty much everything. If I haven't, again, comment below and I'll reply to you. Have a lovely day, guys. Thanks for watching.